So I took a selfie that, despite what I wanted to do, did not include this finger.
And now, Cheese Wits.
Ready to go.
And I can hear you and everything.
Look at that. Yeah. Oh, I'm ready, baby. I don't have much to say, but I'm ready.
I don't have much to say either.
Oh, you have a lot, I'm sure. I don't want to ask you anything yet. Where's Chris?
That's the question of the hour every single time.
Uh,
Except last time when he was on half a second before you.
Yeah, he was there. And I was late because I was getting my tea. I like that blanket behind you.
Thank you.
Or is it a quilt? Oh, no, it's not a quilt. It's a comforter.
It's a quilt. It's a t-shirt quilt.
Oh, it is a quilt.
Yeah.
Did you make that?
No. My stupid ex-husband's sister, who is not stupid, made it for me out of all of my radio station t-shirts. Except for the one station that I worked at with Chris. It's the only one that's not on here. Look.
Wait, what about the one you were? Oh, it is there. We're there. You know what I had for the longest time? Oh, and Yes FM.
Yeah.
I think I still have a Yes FM t-shirt. It's got, what's her name? Sophie B. Hawkins' signature on it.
Oh, no kidding.
Some value that was.
She came and did that show for us at KISS.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that was a pretty good show. Remember, the person I was most excited to see didn't show was Laura Branigan. And then she died a little bit later.
And Becky was a big fan of hers, too.
Yeah, I liked Laura Branigan.
I forgot she died. That's sad.
Yeah, she died.
I'm sad all over again.
Yeah, who did we have? We had, another one of those play the music, even though it's not great. The Baja Boys. I don't even remember what their song was.
Didn't the Baja Boys do Who Let the Dogs Out?
That's
not who we had. That's not who we had.
Yeah.
No, the Baja Boys were way later than that.
We had, no, it was some. It was
a Hawaiian group.
Yeah, it was a Hawaiian group. But yeah, it was a Hawaiian group. I don't know why Baja Boys came to mind. It was a Hawaiian group because the hardest they wanted some kind of special guava juice, which was impossible to find. I remember they wanted guava juice in the green tent, in the green room. In the green room, that's what they wanted. Laura Branigan wanted all kinds of funky stuff too. I can't remember what it was.
Let's see where our friend Chris is.
Yeah, let's find out. Oh, look at my hair.
It's been a really long time since I texted you guys.
I sent you a text to a Facebook message today. Did you see it?
I saw it 10 minutes ago.
Oh, I listened to it. It sounds sounds very AI. It's Drew Carey's voice.
Yeah, but I could tell right away. I mean, even though it said AI, so I knew what I was listening to, I could tell right away it wasn't him.
No inflection whatsoever.
Yeah.
No inflection.
Yeah, that panel that I went to with Fred Jacobs at Country Radio Seminar, he started out with a Taylor Swift AI, and that one sounded pretty close to her.
Yeah.
But then there was a couple of places where you're like, no, that's not her.
The funniest part of that AI I was listening with Drew Carey was when it said, and that was whoever the artist was, their first album in 19. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Thanks for that show prep.
Right. Other than AOR and other than album rock, nobody knows that shit. Nobody cares about that shit. Nobody cares about who was the engineer and who was this and who was that. But those AOR guys, they know all that shit.
Yep.
Oh, the playing guitar in the studio session of this record was blah, 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 blah. What the fuck?
The only time that's relevant is if it was like Dave Navarro, like somebody that people who are big fans of those artists, like if it's something interesting and somebody that people know that went on to do something else, I feel like that's an interesting little tidbit of information to share with people, but that shouldn't be the bulk of what you talk about.
Yeah, I can tell you now that I know who Dave Navarro is. I don't know what band he was in. No. I mean, I know that he's, I know that he's, he was an alternative. He is an alternative guy. And I don't know. Is it Smashing? No, it's not Smashing Pumpkins. It's one of those kind of groups, though, from that era who's still going on.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Jane's Addiction.
So the only person I know from Red Hot Chili Peppers would be Flea. No, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just laughing at you.
None of that shit was ever important to me and still isn't important to me. It just isn't. I don't care. That might be terrible. That might make me a really bad radio person, but I don't care.
I mean, I think the only thing that would make you a really bad radio person is
if you were a bad radio person.
If you were a bad radio person. If you couldn't be relatable to the people who are listening to you. And I feel like people are so multidimensional that, yeah, it would be interesting to say Dave Navarro produced this album and here he is playing guitar with the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that needs to be, that's not the only thing those people are interested in.
No, but I could also, that's information I could get without, but so that's not, it's interesting information, which is easily gettable. It's at the ready.
Yeah.
You could look it up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You could see it like I can do it right now and do it real quick. It's the relatable stuff you're talking about, the general relatable stuff. That's the important shit, I think.
Yeah.
The dumb shit. I am so anxious to hear about your move, and I want Chris to be here so we can talk about it.
It's like a comedy of fucking errors.
Oh, I can't wait. So the thing that's got me most, well, the only thing I really know about is I'm most boggled by is me being the person that had to contact somebody to give you a U-Haul, and they never contacted me but gave you the U-Haul. And all I can think of is that it must be in case the U-Haul and you end up missing and some government building ends up blown up. And they call me and say, do you know her? Do you know Jess?
But it specifically said, we are contacting this person right now. There was a little spinny thing on the screen. Oh. And I had to sit there outside of the gate to get into the U-Haul place because it wouldn't give me the gate code until I had to take a selfie. Then I had to take a picture of my driver's license. Then I had to give the information of somebody who could verify that I am who I am, even though I've just taken a selfie of the same face that's on the picture on the driver's license that I had to give them. And then I'm sitting there waiting and the thing is spinning while it contacts you to verify that I am who I say I am. And then suddenly it's like, cool, here's your gate code. Here's where your truck is. Here's all the information you need to know. Then to not call you in the first place. And that's after I had been nagged to do this early online check-in for a week before the move day. Check in right now. You can check in today. You can save yourself all this time. So I jumped through all their hoops ahead of time.
To no avail and for no reason. Yeah, they never contacted me, and I was hesitant to call you back because I could already hear the in your text. I could already hear the horrible mood you were in just by your text.
Could it be because I said, "Can I give fucking U-Haul your fucking phone number to fucking verify who I fucking am?"
And I was feeling like, oh, I need to call her just to see if she got that information because they haven't contacted me.
Chris says, I'll be there in a few. No power at the ranch. How is no power at the ranch prohibiting him from letting us know 10 minutes ago?
Because he's doing it on his phone unless he's going to be using a real mic today.
Well, he can't because he's got no power. But he's always on his phone. He's been on the mic once.
I know, and he sounded so good, right?
Right. It made me sound bad.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, so I was thinking I was going to get a call and just, hey, do you know this person, Jess? And does she ever buy, like, I don't know, what is the stuff you put on plants?
Fertilizer?
Did she buy bags of fertilizer? Have you known her to do that? And I was expecting like some sort of really detailed phone call. Nothing. They just let you stroll. See, so there's how shit happens. That's exactly how she gets blown up. Mm-hmm. They fake the job.
Especially when you're renting a box truck.
Yeah. I know. But that's and particularly because there was also a fucking horrible event in the city, a couple days beforehand with the fucking shooting.
The day before.
Yeah. It was fucking horrible. So you figure anybody who's in a job where they need to do security check or make sure you are who you are is actually doing the fucking job, and they're not doing the fucking job.
And I'm sure you heard about the Christmas Day bombing here in 2020.
All of those things.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
And wasn't it a box truck that Timothy McVeigh used in Oklahoma City?
Yes.
Yeah.
It absolutely was.
Mm-hmm. Pay attention, U-Haul. Come on. Get it together. They sent me a link to review my experience with U-Haul. Which I only just saw today because who the hell has time to look at email?
I almost never do any of those. I
only do it if it's extremely good or extremely bad.
Extremely bad.
Yep.
Yeah, me too. Because what I really hate about those is they use those to unemploy people. In some shape. Well, it just feels like it's retribution instead of promoting good service and saying, hey, you've got 10 great reviews, here's $100 bonus.
Yeah.
I think if that's what I felt happened and did happen, I'd be all about fucking if
I feel like I've gotten great service, I'm going to ask the person's name and I'm going to fill out the thing and I'm going to say, this person did a great job and, please give them a raise.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm wanting to give people.
Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Chris is here.
Yeah, what is? There's always weird noises when he enters a room, whether it's live in person or it's via this.
Christopher, did he butt dial us?
No, I was waiting for Wally to shut his fat trap.
We're talking about Jess, and so she rented a vehicle.
A U-Haul.
For moving?
Yep.
Tell it, Jess. Tell it.
Yeah.
So I had reserved a U-Haul and I was picking it up before they were actually open. So they have a way to do that. And they had me they nagged me for a week beforehand to do this early online check-in. So I did all the things. I jumped through all the hoops. I pull up at 8:00 Tuesday morning to pick up my U-Haul, and I can't get in the fucking place because there's a gate across the parking lot, and there's a gate code that I don't have. And so I go through the little process on my phone, and it says, okay, first you have to verify you are who you say you are. Take a selfie. So I took a selfie that, despite what I wanted to do, did not include this finger. And then it said, okay, now we need a picture of your driver's license. You have that already. I uploaded that during your online check-in that you nagged me to do.
I don't know. The people in China don't have it yet.
And then it said...
The African prince didn't get it.
The hackers do not have it.
Yeah. Then it said, we need you to give us the name and phone number of someone who knows you and can verify you are who you say you are. So I text Wally because I knew he would be up.
Right.
And I was like, can I fucking give U-Haul your fucking phone number to fucking verify who I am?
Yeah.
He said yes.
To call her back. I was afraid to call her.
So there's a little like spinny thing on the screen of my phone saying, please hold while we confirm this information. Right. And then it says, okay, here's the gate code. Here's where your truck is. Here's where you find the keys. Here's all the stuff you need to know. An hour later, Wally texts me and he's like, are they going to call me?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They never fucking called me. So, and this is Chris, this is the day after the mass shooting in Nashville.
Yep.
Right.
So what I was saying to Jess was, you got to think that people who do security, any kind of security, would be fucking right on their toes doing that kind of shit. And this is obviously some sort of security thing, looking up, seeing does Jess buy fertilizer and blah, blah, blah. And she's renting a box truck. I never heard anything, nothing.
See, I was hoping you were going to have one of those calls, like Jess gets from the car warranty people.
Yeah.
And it was going to be, hello, I am Andrew from the U-Haul.
I would have fucking died. Yeah, it's so, but all that shit is fucking smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Every bit of it. And it's just not surprising to me at all to make it look like that. Was there even anybody really even there, Jess, or was it just a completely automated from?
No, when I picked up the truck, nobody was there. They were not open until 9, and I was picking up the truck at 8. But there was a guy there when I came back to drop it off later.
So in reality, if you wanted to, you could have, because I know you're very into it, you could have parkoured into the place and stolen the truck should you wanted to.
I
know
feel like
you're very parkoury.
that gate, it was a little high for my parkour skills.
Yeah, but in reality, somebody could go in there because I'm assuming that the keys were in the truck.
Yeah, they were in a lock, a word lock. So they, kind of like a lockbox that realtors use.
Yeah, the little code like realtor. Yeah.
Yeah. So they gave me the word code on the phone, and the lock was on the back of the truck.
Yeah, because you could never open one of those with a big hammer.
Right.
Yeah, you could never do that. That seems so fucked up. Hey, Chris, did you see that little message I sent you about Drew Carey?
No.
Oh, okay.
Did you only send it to me? Because it wasn't on the group.
Yeah, no, I sent Chris a separate one. I sent Chris one and then you one. I usually don't send stuff together because I have mistakenly, when I get the group things, I have mistakenly sent something out that I didn't want 8 of the other people to see that have all seen it. So I usually do that singularly and just by habit, not because I wanted to say anything to either one of you that I wouldn't say.
Hold on. Jess, why does it look like you're at a red carpet?
Because I'm fancy. I don't.
You look like you're at a red carpet event and you're about to get your selfie taken with one of the Kardashians with a background.
That's my quilt of radio station t-shirts, all the places I've worked except for WFRE.
Oh, well.
Is that the place you worked at the longest?
FRE? Yeah, until my current job, yeah.
Yes, that's funny.
How about that? I'm sorry. So back to Drew Carey there.
Yeah, so it's just Drew Carey did an AI radio show.
Oh, I heard it.
And I guess he's going to. So I sent you some audio from it. It's fucking so horrible, the AI part. But I'll let you listen to it. And after we're done, maybe you listen to it. And
a link. A listen rather. I won't give it a link.
Yeah, give it a listen and it'll sound and see what you think about how it sounds. If it's you can tell. I could tell instantly. Jess said she could tell instantly.
Yeah.
A, it wasn't him, and B, it wasn't a human being. It was an AI. I couldn't really tell it wasn't him because I'm not that clued into Drew Carey, but I could absolutely tell it was not a human being.
I mean, I do watch some Price is Right, so I guess I would know.
Yeah, see, not me.
You would know because I haven't watched anything with Drew Carey in it in forever, and I could tell instantly that it wasn't really him.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was close, but it wasn't right.
Yeah, close but no cigar.
Yeah.
All right. So now the big move. Now I know I called you a couple days after to say, "Hey, how did everything go?" And you said, and I said, "Don't say anything. Shut up."
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything.
I gave you no sounding board at all, though you probably could have used 5 sounding boards at that time.
Jesus, seriously, if I ever say that I'm moving again, I'm going to need someone to just stab me.
Yeah, see, you should have done what you should. I think you should have taken, before you get to your story, I think you should have taken Chris's advice and done the old, have somebody come and pack the fucking truck and drive it over.
Yeah, and if you need somebody to shoot you, just call me. I mean, I am no more than fucking 10 pushes of a button away.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense on even a short move.
Yeah,
have fucking somebody else do the bullshit.
By the time I forgot that the last time I moved, I wasn't 50.
Yeah.
So
yeah, how'd that feel later?
It still fucking sucks. It's still like I have degenerated discs in my back and my neck. And also I forgot that part when I was like, I'll just move stuff over for 4 days before the actual move. So now I'm at a point where I don't know where anything is and I can only unpack a few things and then I'm in pain and then I have to go sit down. And so, I was wrong in every part of
there's a thing, this fucking getting older thing, it blows.
Yeah.
It really does blow because
it's awful.
Says the 40-year-old.
Says the baby.
Now, you know what? Listen. All y'all can eat a sloppy box of fuck. Okay. We went down to Ocean City, right? And we're like, oh, this is gonna be great. Where's it go? We're not going to stop. It's going to be fine. 4 hours later, we get out of the car. Neither one of us can fucking walk, including the 34-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
She can't walk. Can't fucking move. Today, stopped 3 times on the way home. Got home, no power, and I took a nap. So I'm old. Fuck all y'all.
Yeah, I can tell you that I can drive for fucking hours. I love fucking driving.
I love the drive.
I love it.
No problem with that. It's just that I'm old and I hurt.
And I'm going to tell you, I'm with you there. With my first steps out of a vehicle, even now if I drive 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, are very tenuous. They're fucking, and I've got to do a fucking stretch. And because everything is just stiffened up, like I've got some sort of fucking muscular issues going on, or my skeleton freezes, or, I've just become, my joints have no lubrication. I'm looking for KY joints.
Everything hurts.
Yeah.
Everything hurts.
Yeah.
It does. Still, says the woman who slipped a dick.
Slipped a dick.
I didn't say I had dick degeneration. I said disc degeneration.
I don't know. I saw the guy.
My dick is fine.
So
your big one.
Here are some things I understand.
Okay.
You have a Mrs. Kravitz in your neighborhood.
So Rose.
Her name is Rose.
Her name is Rose. She's the one with the arms.
How old is Rose?
I don't know, maybe 60.
Oh, okay. So she's as old as me.
Rose wanted to tell me stuff every single time she saw me. And for those first couple of days, I couldn't get to my garage because there were guys here building a fence and adding steps to the deck, and they were taking up the whole driveway. So I was just parking like at the front edge of the driveway to take stuff out of my car into the house, in the front door. And so Rose saw me a lot because Rose, as it turns out, likes to sit in the front yard and throw a Frisbee for her barking little Sheltie.
So she's one of those. So let me ask you, does she have a lawn chair she sets up in the opening of the garage door?
No, her garage, I think, is like mine, and it's in the back of the house.
Oh, okay. Because that's a big thing here is people, once they hit the age of like 62 or 63, their hobby is to put lawn chairs either just at the very edge of where the garage door opens and open the door, or just inside the garage door and just watch people and watch them go by and drink beverages.
She was on her front porch doing that, or she comes down off the porch and sits in a chair in the lawn to throw the Frisbee for her little dog that barks the entire fucking time. And every time she saw me, she wanted to tell me stuff. And if she couldn't think of anything to tell me about the neighborhood, she'd tell me about the weather, as if I didn't. Like I had told her, I'm moving from a mile away. Like,
right.
I'm familiar with the weather in this neighborhood. But one of the things she did tell me was that the people about 3 houses around the cul-de-sac from me, they have chickens and geese.
Nice.
And that their 8 or 9 grandchildren come stay with them for the whole summer and like to play in the cul-de-sac. So I'm going to have to figure out some soundproofing for this room.
Did she mention anything about Darren and Samantha?
She did not mention Darren and Samantha.
She didn't talk about the Stevens.
No. But also she is not bothered by me having pit bulls, because when I brought them over, and again, I couldn't bring them in through the garage because I couldn't get back there. So I had to get them out of the car in the front, and she happened to be sitting out in the front yard with her little dog. And she was talking across the yard to my dogs. Oh, I see you. Oh, I know. You're very excited. Like she wasn't worried about them at all.
No, she ain't got no arms. Why would she be worried about a pit bull?
She probably shit her drawers when she was just, yeah, I see it. just letting loose bowel happen.
She wants to ask me questions about the dogs every time she sees me. Thankfully, now my fence is done and I can get into the garage. So I can go right in the house without having to talk to any human beings.
But this is her later talking to the neighbors with the kids and the chickens. The new woman, did you see the new woman in the pit bulls?
Yeah.
Did you see the fucking dogs?
Yeah.
That new woman, she's a real
I only got one hand and she's got a pit bull.
goes by. She doesn't say anything. You think she'd offer to help or something. She sees a handicapped woman sitting right there and she won't even go by.
I'm out there picking up my own dog shit and she's not helping.
Oh my Lord, I can't. But she has a garage. It goes up and down all by itself. Talk to anybody at all. Abner.
I can just fucking see it. You know she's going to be talking. If she's talking about the other neighbors, she's talking about you already.
Well, she doesn't have that much information about me to tell them, but she did tell me the people across the street just sold their house and the other people across the street just moved in. And I think that's all she's told me about this.
Is it a multiracial neighborhood?
Yeah.
I love having a time machine, Wally, because I just got back from a show we did a month from now where Jess starts off with this fucking cunt that lives next door to me.
You know, she's about to lose her other fucking hand.
Yeah.
She comes over here again with another fucking casserole and a story. I'm going to fucking chew her hand off. Fuck the dog.
God, this fucking cunt woman with one hand came over to the house and she baked me a loaf of zucchini bread. You know how much I hate fucking zucchini bread? They wrap it up in a fucking towel and she brings it over and she gets all pissed off because she drops it on the ground with her one fucking hand and the pit bulls ate it. She was talking to the pit bull saying, no, you're not supposed to do that. No. And that cunt did nothing.
That's what I can tell you about her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there was that. There was the fact that on the way out the door from my old place on Tuesday, I dropped my phone and broke the screen and it would not turn on. And so I had to go buy a new screen for my phone. Because I have a Sleep Number bed and there's to inflate
adjust your bed.
I couldn't inflate the bed because my phone wasn't working.
It's so beautiful.
It's kind of like your garage door with the Wi-Fi, Wally.
If I don't have internet service or I don't have my phone, I can't open the fucking garage.
Yeah, I couldn't inflate my bed.
My wife has locked me out of the house she left one day. I was outside giving the horses hay, and I'm out there giving them hay, and she left and she closed the garage door. And I went to go back in because we have a little store of hay in the garage, one of the third bay we use for winter stuff. And I go back to get in the garage. It's closed. I'm like, the fuck? How am I can't call her to say open the garage door because I don't have a fucking phone with me. Luckily, luckily we have a hide key.
Yeah.
So I was able to, but that I had to trudge through. And there was a ton of snow out there. So it was a fucking like 4-foot snow drifts, and I'm hip deep, and it got fucking sucks. And I'm wearing little slippers. I don't have real boots on or anything. So, losing a slipper. Now I'm a barefoot in a 4-foot snowman. Fucking, and when that shit happens, the only person I get pissed at is my wife. And fucking God damn her, fucking sees me out here, didn't fucking close the door. And just had she been here, I would have been, oh, it's okay, honey, don't worry about it. But since she's not here, I'm all big man guy. I'm just cussing her out. Fuck that. And no, yeah, the fucking phone. This whole reliance on this shit is though convenient. And though, it is pretty helpful most of the time, it sucks. It sucks a lot of the time. It really does.
Yep.
I really, and that's why I'm such a, not because I can't do it, it's because I fucking hate it so much. The whole technology bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the idea of technology becoming the new crutch.
It already is becoming. It already is.
Yeah, I know. And for everything, it's the crutch. Of like my granddaughter's here right now, and she has a lot of little toys and stuff to play with. She's been on her fucking tablet the whole time, just playing. I don't know, it's maybe Roblox she's playing, but just on all that. Fuck, I hate that they don't go outside. We've got 25 acres. We got a skating pond out front. In the winter, in the summer, it's a frog pond. We're on 1,000 foot of water frontage. My kids don't go near it. Neither do my grandkids. They don't go fucking near any of it. And I'm looking and saying, what the fuck?
Gosh, I remember when I was a kid, only coming home when it was dark out. Because that was the rule.
Yeah. Yeah, that was and usually, and as the season got a little later, man, I remember having fucking neighborhood games of capture the flag and hide and seek. And I mean, we were hiding on like 20 acres of land.
Yeah.
And when you fucking hid, you could be hidden for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But you didn't care because you'd usually be with somebody just snickering and laughing and, depending on the age. And listen, I was 17 playing hide and seek.
Hold on, capture the flag.
Oh, what a fucking great game.
Jesus Christ. You sound like you're Wilford Brimley sitting in a fucking rocking chair saying that, oh, back in my day, we used to play testicle mouth.
No, we played with a spring.
The flag.
We played with a spring that went down the stairs.
We kicked this. We kicked this stick. And that's what we did all day. We
had a can.
We called the game. We kicked the stick.
We used to kick this can. No, listen, we played stickball and all kinds of shit. Rode bicycles. I saw one of my friends posted a photo of himself at maybe, I don't know, he might have been 13 or 14 years old, 14 or 15, riding his Huffy bike, doing a wheelie. And there was a whole conversation that went on with him and friends who were much closer to him. I was a latecomer to that group of people because I had changed schools through the foster care system. And he talked about how they did the same thing we used to. I lived hundreds of miles, a couple hundred miles away, but they would do this. They were playing the same games, seeing who could hold the wheelie the longest for how many telephone poles. It's the same shit we were doing, in 100 miles away, 80 miles away.
Like, how did we all know the same shit? That's what I want to know. Because we didn't have no stinking internet to tell us.
No, because I think, our parents passed it down to us or something.
Mm-hmm.
But also somebody knew somebody knew somebody knew somebody because people got together back then, really got together, right?
Yeah.
Like you'd have, people would have cookouts and you'd have real people come by and family come by and shit would go. Like, I remember my cousin who lives in Texas now, but has lived in bunches of other places. She came up from Texas when I was maybe 11 years old. And I learned a lot of shit. And then I had, a cousin who came from Alaska. I learned a lot of shit. So, and when I say cousins, this is such a loose terminology. These are cousins when I'm in a foster care. So the definition of family is very different when you're a foster kid than it is when you're not a foster kid.
Yeah.
It's very similar, but you're much more grasping as that kind of person. You're like, Oh yeah, I saw them once when I was 11. That's my cousin. Never saw him again. And actually, I've only now, it's been 50 years about, and her and I talk to each other a little bit on Facebook after I think 49 years of never seeing, knowing, or anything about anybody, and through another person found each other. Like, oh, hey cousin, how are you? Oh, hey cousin, how are you? And it's weird when you grow up that way.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up having two cousins as far as I knew, and we didn't really, they were in California. We didn't really know them very well until we moved in with them when I was 12 and lived with them for about a year. But also they were super religious and we were super not. Yeah. And so there just really wasn't much in common there. Yeah. And I've gotten more in touch with those two as adults, but we still don't really know each other well. And then I guess it was the late 90s, my mom discovered that her dad was not really her dad, and found eventually, over a period of several years, and investigators and all kinds of stuff, found her biological father's family. And so I got a couple of new cousins that way, who I also don't know well. We're Facebook friends, but we don't, and I've met one of them in person, but also
so I have a biological brother and sister, kind of, but no, I do. That I grew up with them for a little while in foster care, and then blah, blah, blah. I reconnected with both of them after not having any contact for over 30 years or so with either one of them. And it turns out my sister has just found out that we all three share the same mother, but only two of us share the same father, that she has a different father but she found this out, though it was never divulged. She found out through DNA that she had a different father.
That's the thing with all this 23andMe and Ancestry and all these things coming out the last.
Yeah, I don't want to know what murderers are part of my family tree.
I do. I'd like to find, because my dad was not my biological father either. And unlike my mom, she was able to find her people. I have not been able to find anybody from my father's side of the family. When Chris has the same parents all the way through, right, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. And you don't need a DNA test to tell. We all look like fucking Mr. Haney. So there's, don't need any of that.
That's where I knew you from.
Now, did you have, so what was your family makeup, Chris? Was it reunion?
They didn't use makeup a lot, Wally.
No, you should.
Yeah, you really no kidding. Should. Ugly Mr. Haney fucks. No, there's me and my brother are my mom and dad's. My mom was married before, had 3 others, and she was married to a man. This is the best last name and the worst last name because it scared me because of different strokes. Gooch. Remember the Gooch?
The Gooch.
Yeah.
That was your mother's last name was Gooch?
That was my mother's last name was Gooch.
Wow.
I mean, I would have divorced the guy for fucking that alone.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, you go from Gooch to Roth. I mean, how many fucking Slavic names? Gooch, Roth. Okay, we're done here.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. There's nothing weird at all, And you.
Well, did you have a good makeup of cousins and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I had cousins, but we never really saw them. My mom had a best friend who had 7 kids, and they were, quote, the cousins and the people that we were closest to in life. There was nothing, quote, odd the whole way through. But you tell your story, Wally, and every time I hear your story, I see fucking Abe Vigoda running fish. Okay. And you got a black kid running down the steps, and then there's little Wally running down the steps, and then there's the Asian girl running down the steps, and Florence Hallop making bad fish for dinner. I mean, it's just that's what I picture. I don't know whether I'm close or not, but that's
So I probably was in a dozen different foster homes over the course of from the time I was 4 till 18.
Jesus Christ, that's like one a grade almost.
2 of them were really good, and then one was the one that was in the longest was fucking horrible. It was fucking just. I wish Abe Vigoda had been there. No, it was even worse. It was worse than Mommy Dearest, but in that same way.
God.
Yeah, that was a terrible one.
That's fucking horrible.
So the wackadoodle thing about that is, I guess that part of why I am who I am. I guess I make friends pretty quickly, but I'm relatively shy. I judge people very quickly, and that's probably not a good thing. But you have to be fast on your feet in those situations when they're bouncing you around. You're with a family for 3 weeks. They say, "Oh, you're going to this town now," and then you're with a family for 2 years, and you're with one for 6 years, but now you're going to be with this one for 3 months, and so it really shapes you in some weird ways, I think.
But, and when you say a new town, was it literally a new town, or was it just like the next town over, and not Milwaukee to DC?
It would be 2, 3, 4 towns over, just one city to another city. It could be one time it was from one school system to an entirely different school system 60, 70 miles away.
But tell me this, Wally, because I feel like, I wasn't jumping from one foster home to another, but once my parents split, my mother was moving us so often that from middle school on, we moved. I went to 6 different, I changed schools 6 times in the 3 years of middle school. Went to one high school for all 4 years, but we moved around so much that I feel like that set me up for a career in radio.
Yeah, I did 2 high schools. Let's see, kindergarten was in one school, first grade was in another school, moved during second grade was in a third school, then moved during second grade, and then third, fourth, and fifth, I think, was in one school, and then 6th was in another school. So I did 6 schools between K and 6, and then 3 others from 6 to 12.
But I feel like having to start all over again and make all new friends and learn basically a whole new world, like kind of sets you up for a career where the way that you move up in your career is to move to a new town.
Yeah. Well, and also you're either going to be a bitter fuck or you're going to be kind of an amusing motherfucker.
I think I'm a bitter, amusing motherfucker.
That's possible. That's yeah. I think for me, I was amusing, but I also was kind of an asshole. The judgmental part of me might pick your weakest point and bully on it maybe a little bit, or just think I was being funny, but really not, because the other kids are laughing, so I'm making friends,
right?
And really, you're hurting somebody else's feelings, which I look back on now and say, I was kind of a dick. Well, I was a dick for doing those things.
Yeah, but I don't, because I did some of the same stuff, and I feel like
some of it's just kid stuff, right?
Some of it's kid stuff, and some of it's like, I was bullied relentlessly for having red hair for the entire time I was a kid, and so if I had an opportunity to, make someone else feel like they were lower than me, I jumped at it.
Right.
And obviously that's not a good thing, but I think that's a kid thing, because you don't know how to cope with that.
I remember when we moved to Worcester, and I was the new kid, and for the most part, most of that school I went to was Puerto Rican kids and black kids. I used to get beat up quite often. One time I even got my eyebrows burnt off.
Wow.
With a cigarette light, with a cigarette lighter. There was one kid who was really big, but it didn't happen. I say that it didn't happen all the time, but I got into skirmishes, and it wasn't because I was a white kid or they were Puerto Rican. It was because I was the new kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got to test the new kid. It was sort of like prison, you know? Let's see, whose bitch is he going to be? Whose lunch money? Who's going to get his fucking lunch money? So what you have to do is you have to fucking win on, when you're playing King of the Mountain, which you can't play anymore in schools. But when you play King of the Mountain, you got to fucking win. King of the Mountain, when they pile up the snow in the schoolyard and you fucking fight and knock people off.
Yeah.
A couple kids every year break their arm playing King of the Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It always happened. Yeah, that. It's so. Yeah, I'm agreeing with what you say, that it's part of that whole, it makes yourself feel a little better. You feel a little stronger. You feel a little more secure by finding somebody else's insecurity.
Yeah.
And capitalizing on it. And it gives you the ability to have some quick wit, because to attack people in that way, you have to be quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have to have
Look at us developing life skills.
Yeah, you gotta. But on the other side of that, as the receiver of that kind of stuff, because I receive it makes you stronger. It does. It gives you a little bit of not a fucking cold shoulder shell, but it thickens your skin a little bit, so you're all right. Yesterday, by the way, speaking of that, I was going to the grocery store. I had picking up something. I'm in the crosswalk with the cart, walking in. I was getting 2 items because I was making carnitas. So I needed a couple of things. I wanted to get some pickled onions. And the fucking truck, and I knew it was going to happen. There's 2 vehicles approaching the crosswalk. And the second vehicle pulls up real tight to the front vehicle. And you know what he's going to do? He doesn't fucking want to let me go. So he's going to fucking quick go. So I get up there and I let the cart go. It doesn't hit his car, but I just go like this and I grab it. Of course, he stops in the crosswalk and he fucking starts yelling at, I don't know, he's probably the same age as I. I'm just looking at him, and I called him a dickhead, of course. I mean, I had to.
Of course.
I call him a dickhead, and then I'm looking at myself after I go in the store, and I start laughing. I'm saying, there's 2 fucking 60-year-old men, calling each other a dickhead and an asshole in a parking lot because of 10 feet of space. Fucking dummies. What is that?
This dog just opened the door that I had closed.
Oh. It'll be able to get out and get that woman. It'll be able to get Rose pretty easily.
Let me tell you something about this dog. I had put the dogs in crates when I had to leave the house the other day, because it's a new house and there's stuff out everywhere and I don't know what all they can get into. So I just was like, let me, and this one I had to crate when I left anyway, because last year when I didn't, she found my gun and chewed the bottom of the magazine off. Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding?
No, I'm not. No. She chewed the trigger guard. I had to buy a whole new clip. It was a whole thing. So I put them in crates in the bedroom, closed the bedroom door, went to the store. I come back. I hear this howling noise coming from the bedroom. I go in and look, and she's not in her crate. But the crate is closed, but she's not in it, even though I had put her in it.
Opened the crate and got out?
She bent. It was like one of those metal, wire crates.
Yeah.
She bent it and got herself out.
Yeah. You know what, Chris? Those dogs are going to get her in trouble.
You don't say.
The dog walking around the neighborhood with a gun.
Yeah. She's
Rose didn't get her other hand chewed off. She got shot by Jess's dog.
As my friend Mickey
Holy
said,
shit.
She's a bad bitch.
She is a bad bitch.
Yeah. So yeah, today I had to go to the grocery store, and I thought maybe because the bedroom is right above the garage, I thought maybe the sound of the garage door is what freaked her out. So I had been the last couple of days, I just had the garage door opener with me, and I would go in the bedroom and open and close the garage door so she could hear it while I was sitting there.
Yeah.
And so today I put them in their crates and I closed the door and I get downstairs to the garage and I have not started anything and I can hear her rocking the crate upstairs. And by the time I get back upstairs, her head is out and trapped between the front of the crate and the body of it as she's trying to push her way out, but she can't push.
What the fuck?
So thankfully the dog that I had before either one of these two trained me for this moment. And so I just put her back in and I told her to lay down And then I went and got some zip ties and zip tied the corners of the crate so that she can't push it open. And then I said, stay. And I pointed a security camera at the crate and I left the room and nothing happened. And I went downstairs and nothing happened. And I opened the garage door. I watched on the security camera all the way to the grocery store when I was also looking at the road. She was fine. She was totally fine.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to go back to the fucking night school. Maybe get a little welding experience and build yourself a fucking better crate.
The zip ties are fine. The first pit bull that I ever had was my girl Moxie that I lost last year, or almost 2 years ago now, and she had such bad separation anxiety that the first day that I left her at home and went to work, she tore all the blinds down off the front windows. And then I tried to crate her and she busted out of the crate, broke a couple of her teeth doing it. And then I thought I finally had it all figured out and I left, and I was off running an errand or something, and my neighbor had texted me and said, "Is your dog loose?" And I was like, "No, she's in the house." And he texted me back and he said, "Your window's broken." She had busted out the front window. You. So I had a trainer come and teach me how to crate train her. And then she was fine after I did that. So I just used the same skills on Medley and she was fine.
What the fuck?
Yeah. They're very high strung, these little pit bulls.
Yeah. Well, I've had bad behaving dogs. I've only had 2 dogs, but 2 dogs that have had separation anxiety. The first one we had was a dog that we found. It was a little pup. He ended up being the fucking best dog ever. He died several years ago. But Jody and I left. He was probably 8 months old. We left the house. We all left the house. The kids were with us because the kids were, then Ryan was probably, I don't know, 15 or 16, maybe something. The Cheyenne would have been 10. We leave the house, come back, and we had just gotten a brand new couch.
Oh, no.
The first brand new piece of furniture we've gotten in years.
Oh, no.
It was nothing but fluff. The couch was entirely destroyed in about 30 minutes. It wasn't, there was nothing left. The frame had been busted. It was just fucking fur. The stuffing, whatever that shit is, it just everywhere.
Yeah. My other dog, Toro, did that when he was a puppy. At my old house, I had a couch that was out on the deck in the back. I had a covered deck and there was a couch out there when I moved in, and I was like, cool, I have a couch on the porch now. And he and Moxie had been out there for 10 minutes. I don't leave my dogs outside for long periods of time, but they were out there for 10 minutes. And then I went to check and the entire porch was covered in pieces of that couch.
See?
All right. Anyway, you guys, I got to go unpack some boxes. So next week.
All right. Y'all be good. All
right, y'all.
Talk to y'all later.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, Jess. Bye, Chris.